Afridi makes room, goes up in the air, has it connected, it's gone! It's six! Shahid Afridi!
बिस्मिल्लाहिर्रहमानिर्रहीम अस्सलाम वालेकुम। कनाडा वन देखने वाले तमाम व्यूअर्स को अरसलान बेग की जानिब से बहुत बहुत खुशामदीद। मैं इस प्रोग्राम से स्टार्ट करने से पहले जस्ट लाइक टू लेट ऑल ऑफ यू नो दैट कि मैंने रिसेंटली कनाडा वन टीवी ज्वाइन किया है एंड आई एम रियली थैंकफुल टू द सीईओ मिस्टर बदर मुनीर चौधरी साहब कि उन्होंने मुझे अपॉर्चुनिटी दी कि प्रोग्राम स्टार्ट करूं, वो प्रोग्राम जिसके जो है स्पोर्ट्स से मुतालिक और स्पोर्ट्स क्या सबका पॉपुलर स्पोर्ट्स क्रिकेट जो कि पूरी दुनिया में इंटरनेशनली दिस स्पोर्ट्स इज गेटिंग पॉपुलर, ना सिर्फ इंटरनेशनली लेकिन कनाडा में भी ये स्पोर्ट्स की बहुत वैल्यू हो चुकी है एंड यू नो हाई लेवल पे क्रिकेट हो रही है। और कनाडा के अंदर गवर्निंग बॉडीज है क्रिकेट कनाडा और इसके साथ साथ चूंकि हम ओंटारियो में हैं तो ओंटारियो की गवर्निंग बॉडी है क्रिकेट ओंटारियो और क्रिकेट ओंटारियो जो है दे आर द वन, वो सारी लीगों को जो है उन क्रिकेट ओंटारियो के रूल्स फॉलो करते हैं और क्रिकेट ओंटारियो हर चीज को गो अहेड करती है बिफोर दे डू एनीथिंग। तो मेरे साथ आज देयर आर टू रिप्रेजेंटेटिव फॉर क्रिकेट ओंटारियो दैट आर गेस्ट इन आवर प्रोग्राम। Once I like to welcome Mr. Shah Zafar, who's the president of CCO, sir. Welcome to you on Canada One TV program. My program name is Sixer, so we'd like to welcome you. And we also have a vice president of Cricket Ontario, as well as he's also president of Brampton and Etobicoke District League, Mr. Prem Prasad. I'd like to welcome you in program Sixer. How are you today? Okay, so as you know, we by that time the season already been started in different leagues, and right now we are standing in first week of June, and as you can see the cricket has not started yet. Definitely there is only one reason which everybody is facing all over the world, that is COVID-19. So we have two representatives of Cricket Ontario who are the governing body of this cricket in Ontario. So Mr. Shah Zafar, I'd like to ask you a question. How do you find government communicate strategies on safety mid COVID-19?
First of all, thank you very much, Arsalan, for inviting us into this forum. You have two representatives of Cricket Ontario, and I think, and we are very, very pleased to be part of it. And congratulations on the new program that you have started, Sixer. And we wish you that you will have a benefit of success in this, and you will serve the community with this program, and hopefully promote the cricket at the same time. In response to your question, government has many forum that as a Cricket Ontario, I usually attend them. There's a forum called PSO Group Forum where all the PSOs mean the provincial sports organization, which are recognized by the government of Ontario to oversee the activity of different sports. And basically they are the governing body. And there's one group there. So there's a lot of information sharing over there, that how everybody's doing, and learn from it. Then we also have a CSIO, which is a Canadian Sports Institute of Ontario, which is also a high performance center for the high performance athlete that goes to the Olympics and stuff like this. So there's their forum that I also attend to get all the information from them. And then we have a Minister of Sports in Ontario town hall, where she comes up every bi-weekly and share the information that what government is planning to do to support the PSOs to deliver the messages to or implement strategies or funding questions and stuff like that. So these government is very aggressively and communicating on a very timely basis on every aspect of the life and how to deal with COVID-19 situation. So I'm very pleased with this, and when that information come to me about those forums, I share those information with my executive, and from executive level it goes to the membership.
Okay, so as this time you can see that there might be leagues going to see some cricket this year. What updates are you getting from the representative?
The government supplies us all the information regarding that, what the requirement will be, like safe play, the safe resumption of play guidelines that we have to develop. Government gives us the risk assessment template, that how do we assess the risk. Government gives us some funding opportunities when they says, okay, what is your loss during this season is, which we have identified them, but we have not received anything from them yet that, how it's going to happen. Although we does receive that, yes, you may be the recipient of some funding, but we don't know how much, right? And how it's going to come. But our strategy is that we usually have our forum, right? Internal forum communication strategy that we handle, how to handle the safety of the players, official, the parents, management, and all that stuff to go along with it, right? And if you are asking about that, what are we going to do in the future? If you have that question, I can relay that now, or I can wait for your question to come in.
Okay, sure. While we are here, also Mr. Prem Prasad, who's the Vice President of Cricket Council of Ontario, as well as he's also President of Brampton Etobicoke and District Cricket League. Prem, I'd just like to ask you if you can quickly tell us about how BDCL is doing something, then we move on to the very important question with Cricket Ontario. What is BDCL looking at? Because, obviously Cricket Ontario is not only taking care of Toronto, it's also taking care of Brampton as well. And right now, as you can see, Brampton mayor is really strict about, he doesn't care about other cities, he doesn't care about other region, he only care about his region. That at this time, he's very strict. So even though Cricket Ontario get a go-ahead, they start, let's say the Toronto start, how in which basis you are in touch with the mayor, Patrick Brown?
Thanks, Arsalan. And as Shaji said, wish you all success on this program. And thanks for having us here today. As far as BDCL is concerned, as you know, we are extremely large league and we have a lot of things to get done in order to commence our season. At this point, we have been carefully following COVID. We have given our members various updates on the COVID and the impact on cricket, especially on BDCL. Being that we play most of our cricket in Brampton as well as Toronto and some of the surrounding cities, it's impacting us a lot. Even if on Toronto was to say they're going ahead, we can't really go ahead unless we have the go-ahead from the mayor and the city folks, the city of Brampton. And if you look at the post recently, Mayor Brown has been very, very firm that he will not expose anyone to this virus, and unless they're convinced that the curve has been subsidingly going down and the curve has been planked, he doesn't plan to reopen. June 30th, July 1st weekend has been a line that was drawn in the sand a couple months ago, but we were all cautioned not to take July 1st as a guarantee reopening of facilities. We're all following all of the government, as Shaji has told you, all of the various government levels that he goes and attend. We will follow them on their morning and their midday conferences to the public, from the premier to the prime minister to the mayors of the respective city to all of the health officers. We have been paying attention to that. We have sent out our COVID warnings to our members and cricketers and asking them to follow the guidelines, because if they follow the guidelines, they will assist a reopening to happen faster than if they're not following the guidelines, because that only keeps the virus spreading and the curve never going to come down. So unless it begins to come down, we will not be playing cricket. So we're hopefully, if we get a July start, whether it's a second weekend of July, we should be able to get some cricket. But all of that depends on the respective cities reopening the facilities without feeling that they will be exposing the players to any safety and health concerns. So that's how we are in BDCL, and it's the same, I think, with all the leagues in Ontario, that Cricket Ontario is membership constituents, and we're all in the same boat at this point in time.
Okay. Go back to the Cricket Ontario now. Mr. Zafar, the president of Cricket Ontario, I'd like to ask you another question: is how's your Cricket Ontario preparing itself for timely and strategic response to these quickly changing developments, such as possible opening of cricket field in near future?
We have a communication strategy in place to ensure that whenever the good news comes along for opening of the cricket field, we are ready. We have developed guidelines for our members on safe resumption to play cricket, and they're aligned with the government safety requirements. And our committee, which we had a meeting last week with our 6 full members that reviewed that guidelines, and we have made a few changes onto that guidelines, and those are in place. Plus, we also have a waiver form because this is a sensitive issue that we have prepared that waiver forms that COVID-19, that the people coming in to play and they are sick or they have some symptoms or all like they are going to declare themselves that they have or they have not. If they have not, then they will be allowed to play, and if they have it, they will not be allowed to play. So those precautions and those guidelines are in place at this particular time. Those guidelines will be given to our members, and then our members will be using it to go to the city, because I think this is one of the city requirements that you have to have the safe resumption of play cricket guidelines in place before they issue the permit to it, right? Prem and I had worked on these development guidelines, as well as my safety committee to resumption of play has given their input into it. So we're ready. Prem can explain a little bit more on it because we are both working on it. So I will pass on to the Prem to explain a little bit how the guidelines is coming along.
Thank you, Shaji. As he said, as Cricket Ontario, we have come up with a very detailed and comprehensive guidelines for return to cricket, or reopening of cricket facilities, or however you want to call it. We have gathered first our information from ourselves, from our leagues, and put it together, and then we have gathered information from the ICC return to cricket policies, from the Cricket Canada policies that was also put out, and we have covered areas such as educating people about the awareness of COVID-19 and what will be the impact on cricket, the resumption of play, and what are the first and paramount concerns, which is the safety and health concerns as handed down by the different levels of government, etc. And then what are the concerns from your city? For example, if you take the city of Brampton, on the first reopening meeting that they had, they asked you 3 questions. How are you preparing to address health and safety concerns? What are the key points that are pertinent to our sport, that are pertinent and specific to cricket, and being a non-contact sport? And the third one was, what do we need from the city to assist us in reopening cricket to the public? Along that line, we prepared a very comprehensive guidelines to address the governance of the training, and how training should be done, and how it should be conducted, how the drills should be done on the field, off the fields. And then we get to the most important and critical part of a return to cricket, and that is playing the game competitively, which is there is no drilling of training of 1 or 2 people or 4 or 5 people where you can keep and follow the social distancing and all the other requirements that you have to follow. We addressed it from the perspective of what happens during the game. So all of the on-field guidelines that we have established for cricketers as well as the umpires to observe while the game is going on. Then we created a section for off-field. When the teams are off field, what are the guidelines they should follow for PEP, for hygiene, for water, for distancing, for testing, or if you're feeling sick and all of that stuff. And then we create another subset for the umpires and how they deal with the game while it's being played, and the players and all of the rules. So we create guidelines for each one of these groups. On-field guidelines of how the game of cricket will be modified based on the COVID-19 and the precautions that we need to take to make certain that while you're playing, you're still staying safe. But we won't go through all of them. But as Shachi said, this is a comprehensive document that we're putting out. So we have the on-field, we have the off-field, and we have the umpire modifications to address the risk. So we have to prove to the cities that any one of the cities, when they're going to call the final reopening for cricket, will ask the Cricket Ontario as well as the leagues to have or prove to them that they can sufficiently address the health and safety concerns of this virus and not cause it to the curve to go up or get more people get sick or stuff like that. So we took it on ourselves that as the provincial sports organization, we should have something prepared, and we've put it together. And as Shaji has said, everyone have reviewed this. It's on our websites. He has been making sure that everything that we have done is on the website, and because that's the motto that we follow, which is open and transparent governance from Cricket Ontario. So we have been setting an example that others are following. So when any one of our members are ready to reopen, whether it's in Ottawa, whether it's in Scarborough, whether it's in Markham, whether it's in Brampton, whether it's in Toronto, Mississauga, we will have the appropriate documentation that we will share with all of them, so they will be able to share it with their respective cities to show, here is how we intend to control this health and safety concerns based on COVID-19 impacting our game, and why they should open it earlier for us.
I'd just like to add, Arsalan, to what Prem has been talking about, that these are the guidelines that Cricket Ontario has prepared it, and it will be given out to all of our members, associate member, full member, and everybody else. And right now we have created a section on our cricketontario.ca website called the COVID-19 information, right? Info. So when you click on that, the people click on that link, all these documents, including the waiver form, which will be shortly put it on, will be posted there. As we say, that Cricket Canada has prepared the resumption of play guideline, return to play, and we have reviewed that. We have taken some of the stuff from that. Also, we taken from Australian Cricket Australia. They have a very large framework. We have taken some substance from that also, and also the ICC one, and from the England one. So this section that he says has a 4 or 5 sections in their training, on-field, off-field, umpires, and we have recommended some sanction guidelines that if somebody doesn't follow, or somebody breaches those guidelines and refuse to follow those guidelines, what are the penalties will be? We have recommended. Now, there's a very important piece here is that this is a guideline that will go to the membership. Membership are responsible for their playing conditions and making changes to playing condition as they go along. But the playing condition will rule how the game will play. Some may say we want to put the gloves on and we'll play. Cricket Ontario wouldn't say that you do it or not do it. It will be part of the member league who wants to adopt that playing condition and want to make modification to it. We have given the sanction for penalties, guidelines, a recommendation. It is the league who's going to determine that they want to imply these guidelines or not imply these guidelines. Their guidelines or code of conduct, as you say, will be coming. However, very important piece is the umpire's responsibility. Umpires will have some extra responsibility on him to make sure that these people are following these guidelines. And we expect that all the players from every league will cooperate with umpires to implement these guidelines in place when the game starts.
Arsalan, I would like to supplement what Shaji said. After all the recommendations we have made and into the different categories that we have addressed, we took it and put it into 6 different categories of these recommendations. One is social distancing off-field guidelines, social distancing on-field guideline, player sanitation guidelines, team infraction with respect to declaring illnesses, cricket ball sanitization guidelines.
What about non-medical mask?
Yeah, and social distance celebrations guideline, as you know, the sport. Yeah. So all of these, we suggest suspension or a fine or ejection or forfeiture of the game, depending on the seriousness of the infraction that any player or captain or team commits when the game is being played, right? So
are you guys going to put any mask, is players are mandatory to wear the mask, or umpires are going to be wearing the mask because, as it's,
Well, those are recommendations we have. But as Shaji just told you, after we spoke to our membership last week, there is a new thing that has come out with the mask, that people that are actively involved in an activity should not be wearing masks, that it's dangerous. So we are researching that. and we've made the change and put a caution on that, so it's optional whether you can do it while you're playing the game. But off field, we are recommending that you wear the mask, and team doesn't stay in more than 5 people together, and keep the social distance. So all of those are in the details of the recommendations that we have made.
Because I think mask, according to me, mask is one of the very mandatory things nowadays. Nowadays, even we go to the store, and that's why Brampton is getting a hot spot, because I think lots of students live here and they are not following the protocols, as well as out of every 10 members I see outside, every 10 people, only 2 of them are wearing a mask and 8 of them are not. I think that's also one of the reasons to get COVID-19, catches, transfer it to the other person, because that disease, we don't know, even I'm talking to somebody who's not wearing a mask and I'm not wearing the mask. And, I'm talking to that person, and let's say if I do have it, the other person, it will be easily transferred to him. So if players are not going to wear the mask, you think players can still follow your guidelines and they can handle the situation, Uncle?
On the face mask, I think I have verified with the medical professionals of the local municipality, especially the Peel Health, that physical activities, people are involved in a physical activity, right? The mask is not needed because it poses a health hazard, right? Because it's the difficulties in breathing. But when they are not part of the physical activity, then they should be wearing the mask. And this is why, if you look at the guideline, we'll send it to you, guideline, or you can check our website. There's a guideline is there. When they're sitting outside the field for batting for their turn to bat, right? We have recommended that every player should wear the mask and also keep the social distance, right? While they're outside the field. Where inside the field, umpire will ensure that the fielder are placed within, outside the limit of 6 feet. For social distancing is there.
Umpire will be wearing the mask or no?
Umpire will be wearing the mask. Umpire will be wearing the mask. Umpire will be wearing the gloves.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So umpire will be safe in that term. And we have also consulted the Toronto Cricket Umpiring and Scoring Association. President was part of that our committee that has reviewed this document to make sure that the umpires, from the umpire's perspective, all the safety has been included in that document. Right?
Yeah. The individual, as I said, there's a section for the modifications that the umpires will have to do. But one of the most critical things, these guidelines that we have established for the players on the field, off the field, and the umpires, you can't expect the umpire alone to solely adjudicate the game as well as adjudicate the guidelines. So it will be a critical role for both captains to ensure that they're assisting the umpires with their respective responsibilities that are outlined in the guidelines. Because if they don't, the appropriate sanction will apply. So we will be pretty strict. And as Shachi pointed out earlier, when we distribute this to our membership, how they take that document and apply it at their league level will be up to them, because they are the ones now who will have to make sure that the guidelines are being followed during the competitions within their respective jurisdictions.
Okay, so viewers, I think pretty much जैसे कि Mr. Shah Zafar, President of Cricket Council of Cricket Ontario, as well as Mr. Prem Prasad, Vice President and also President of BDCL, जिस तरह से इन्होंने आज आप लोगों को बताया कि possibilities क्या हैं कि season start हो सकता है और क्या safety precautions ली जाएंगी cricket, क्योंकि cricket जो है, obviously cricket is a social distancing game के प्लेयर्स और बॉलर्स के बीच में फासला रहता है, लेकिन काफी ऐसी चीजें होती हैं जैसे कि सेलिब्रेशन हो रही है, और जो है हम जब बॉलिंग कराते हुए जो बॉल को शाइन कर रहे होते हैं तो हम थोड़ा सा थूक लगाते हैं. इसके साथ साथ जो है जो प्लेयर्स जो है बॉटल्स शेयर करते हैं, तो दीज आर द वेरी मेजर कॉजेस के इस चीजों से कोविड-19 दूसरे पर्सन को ट्रांसफर होने के चांसेस रहते हैं. और साथ साथ जिस तरह से जो गाइडलाइंस बताई गई, आप जो है क्रिकेट ओंटारियो के वेबसाइट पे जाके भी फर्दर इन्फॉर्मेशन ले सकते हैं और डेफिनेटली आपको मज़ीद इन्फॉर्मेशन मिलेगी. हम तो ये चाह रहे हैं कि कुछ क्रिकेट देखने को मिले. जून में इस वक्त तक तो तकरीबन 7-8 गेम हो चुके होते थे, ऑलमोस्ट क्वार्टर सीजन तो हो ही जाता था, लेकिन इस दफा सीजन देखने में नहीं आ रहा. तो आई होप कि जो क्रिकेट लवर्स हैं, जो क्रिकेट खेलने के लिए बेताब हैं, होपफुली आपको कुछ क्रिकेट देखने को मिले. आई होप कि कोविड-19 में कुछ कमी आए और गवर्नमेंट की तरफ से कुछ जो है हमें. थैंक यू वेरी मच शाह जफर साहब, for be a guest in our program, as well as Mr. Prem Prasad. Thank you very much for being our guest. तो व्यूअर्स, उम्मीद है आपको आज का शो पसंद आया होगा. इंशाल्लाह आगे भी हम कनाडा वन टीवी के ऊपर आपके लिए नेक्स्ट एपिसोड के साथ हमारा कोशिश यही रहेगी इस प्रोग्राम में कि ना सिर्फ लोकल क्रिकेट को, इंटरनेशनल क्रिकेट को भी देखा जाए. तो इंशाल्लाह हमारे प्रोग्राम में आपको कुछ इंटरनेशनल क्रिकेटर भी मिलेंगे. तो इंशाल्लाह अगले एपिसोड में आपसे मुलाकात होती है. तब तक के लिए इजाजत दीजिए अपने होस्ट अरसलान बेग को. अस्सलाम वालेकुम वरहमतुल्लाहि वबरकातुहू.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Uncle. Thank you, Prem.
And
Are you a business owner